you messaged.
When I met you were indisposed. We're live, by the way. Were
Uh,
you going to the bathroom?
yes.
Oh, that's okay.
I
There
was
is
just
a mobile app for StreamYard, just FYI. You could have called in from the can.
well, I wanted to
You don't have a streaming setup in your
be
bathroom like me?
No, I don't take my phone into the bathroom because if I do, I'll never come out.
Right? Oh, right. That's actually a really good idea. Yeah. Hello, everyone. It's the pre-show where we talk about what we're going to do in the show. Andy chiming in early live.
Hi, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
How you doing?
Andy selling swag. I think he got a
Swag.
hold of Henry today. Henry running some of the Facebook stuff, social media stuff for the Outright
Oh.
Geekery, whatever it is now. This is basically all I do and share memes. I don't do shit over there anymore. But it looks like Andy looking for merch. And if you'd listen to the show
Merch.
every week like he does, you just go to Outright Geekery. It's on Bonfire. We sell merch over there. But
Merch.
yeah, hey you guys. He was actually kind of doing
Hey,
that.
you
Yeah, he
guys.
was actually kind of doing the hey you guys. Um, but yeah, thanks Andy. Sell that merch. Join him over at the group page, Outright Geekery. Just search for Outright Geekery on Facebook, and yeah, go to the group. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm two scotches in. We're just talking indie stuff this week. I figured we'd take advantage. It is the end of the year. There were some okay DC and Marvel books this week. I read a couple of them, but
I read
there
a
was a lot of
couple
indie
of
stuff, a lot of small press stuff, and I
I
think we're just
read
going to
a
lean into it
I
this
read a
week.
couple of DC and Marvel books, and I was not pleased with the offerings.
Good. Good. That just
Um,
leans even harder into what we're doing this week. Because,
I
oh, yeah,
figured
Taylor's not showing up. Taylor's indisposed. He is not taking a dump. He is hanging out with family and stuff. It's that time of year. Got to
yeah,
be, flexible. He'd
doing
love
the
to be
family
here.
things.
He'd love to be here, but yeah, he's doing family stuff. Yes, the group page is amazing. Yes. No caveats there. He's not biased. It actually is amazing. It's just even better now. It's always been amazing. It just has 30% less spam now because somebody's actually doing shit over there.
Spam, 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 tomato and spam, egg and spam.
But Andy's
I
actually,
don't
yeah,
like spam.
Andy's doing an amazing job over there. So, yeah,
Uh,
go there and check it out. We got a new intro,
I
another
don't hang
intro.
out at I don't hang out a lot on Facebook, but the way things are going nowadays with Twitter,
Let's not.
I may have to find a new home or an old home
Let's
or
not. Let's
active.
not even.
I've actually got my super secret Instagram account opened up, but
Ooh. Let's do the show. We got a new intro this week. Fits perfectly with what we do.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
les compantons.
That is that combatant. She's right. We're terrible at this.
Tu
You all right?
un sexte
Oh,
primate.
France. I love your
Bonjour.
fries.
Je
Your
m'appelle
toast.
Frédéric Fromage.
Oh, your fries and your
Avec
toast. I love it.
jambon.
Welcome back. It's another episode of this
Bonjour.
Geek and Comics Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
The Gomer and David hour, going back to like pre-pandemic.
Oh yeah, this is like
It was just me and
the
him doing
old
this shit.
days. The old
Remember
days.
we used to have 5 people on the damn show?
Oh yeah, remember
Jesus.
remember when we used to not be called This Geek and Comics?
Yeah, what were we? We were Comic
Geeks
Cast.
of the Round Table.
Oh yeah, we were Geeks of the Round Table. We were Comic Cast for a minute. We were working over there with Boogie and them. It's been a lot of shit.
Yeah,
The
we've had a
memories
lot
and
of
nostalgia.
we've had a pretty fun trip so far.
It has been fun. It has been fun. But you've
I
been
should-
here all the whole time.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I am
Through
like
all the iterations.
I am the Captain America of Outright Geekery. I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
right.
I
Defenders,
wasn't there at the
Avengers.
beginning, but I contributed quite a lot
Yeah.
at the very beginning.
Segment 1, what did we do this week? I watched Black Adam. I did not enjoy this at all. It was kind of boring. I mean, the
It
fight scenes were
is-
cool, but I just didn't have a good time with this at all.
It is
yeah.
it is a lot stronger entry into the DCU than some other movies. I definitely like this a lot better than, say, the Wonder Woman 84 movie.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
Wonder Woman
I-
84
it
was better for me on a rewatch, actually, dude.
uh,
And that might be the same for this, but I just found myself bored the whole time.
I did go see this in theaters,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of feel that it is more of a Hawkman Dr. Fate buddy movie.
I mean, yeah, it is.
So
I mean, Black Adam by the end of the movie does have kind of a sad story, and it kind
yeah.
of gets there in these weird flashbacks where they're speaking another language, and I don't know.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought it was kind of clunky. I didn't think it worked. I was bored. I just wasn't interested at all the whole
Yeah,
time.
and now we're probably going. Now that things are happening with James Gunn, we're
Oh yeah,
probably.
Henry Cavill's out. He's going to a Warhammer thing though over at
Did you
Amazon.
know
Which
that
cool.
Henry Cavill is a big Warhammer 40K
Dude,
fan?
he's like the biggest nerd. Yeah, he's a huge nerd.
He
When it
has
comes
a
to a bunch of stuff.
Custodes army.
Yeah, listen to you
He,
getting all
he
chirpy about it.
that is like
Andy.
that is like the pinnacle, almost near pinnacle of like humanity's armed forces. Is
Oh,
the
here we go.
Custodes.
Here we go. Warhammer
The only
nerds quickly
thing bigger
moving
than a
up.
Custodes is like a
Yeah.
Primarch.
Warhammer nerds quickly moving up the ranks of the worst kind of nerds.
They
Lord of
are
the
the
Rings
worst.
nerds,
Actually, the Warhammer
dinosaur nerds
community,
are terrible.
is very bad at gatekeeping. I
Oh, I
believe.
bet. Oh, I bet.
They're
bet.
almost as bad. They're almost as bad as certain unnamed members of the comic book community who will not be named on this podcast.
Andy chimed in that the Netflix Pinocchio is amazing. That's a Del Toro joint. Yeah, I bet it's great. It's weird that he turned Pinocchio like into one of his monsters, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, I have not gotten a chance to see that.
Like Pan's Labyrinth, Pinocchio puts his hands up to his eyes, and he's got eyes in his hands. He's like, "I'm a real boy now."
Right. Right. What'd you do this week, man? Anything cool that you want to mention in the first segments?
Well, it's not cool. It's kind of sad.
Oh man, come on.
Go
ahead.
My parents' cat, one we've had for like 18 years, passed away.
Oh well,
Saturday
18
morning.
is a lot of good memories.
18 is a
cat.
good. Is 18 is a long life for a cat,
You
but
know, that is sad. But wow,
he did.
He held on.
Well,
he loved life. He loved life.
He was starting to go blind and he couldn't walk around. So mom and dad like made
Well,
him
that's
like
me. I'm going blind. I'm
well,
having
he would
trouble
bump into
around.
things.
Fuck
He
y'all.
would bump into things. So mom and dad like made him like a little crib
bad.
with like soft stuff, so he could
Yeah.
be in the room with them, but not like wander around. And mom said that they got up one day and he just he didn't move.
Oh no. Oh,
So
no. Well,
it was sad,
but he's in cat heaven now.
He was a good kitty.
That's good. Let's move away. Well, we got more sad news coming up. Let's do the news. We got some good news coming up. We really do. I swear to God.
Way to be a downer, David.
This is a downer too. Late payments to creators, right, has been a trending sort of topic. Okay. Over the last few months, a number of creators, we're getting this from all different sources. By the way, The Beat, Bleeding Cool had some shit on this. But creators have been taking to social media and have been talking about different problems with the industry overall, which is leading to the fact that creators are not getting paid. All right. This is also kind of seasonal, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's my take on it, right? But Big Bang Comics talked at length about a glut on the market. Right, David Harper, the market cannot take an outpouring of new titles that seem to have no clearly defined audience. So what he's saying is there is a glut on the market where books aren't selling, but they are being published, right? And we're not quite sure what that means for the overall market and the industry, right? Are publishers just writing these off? You know, WB and Disney can certainly do that shit. WB Discovery knows everything about writing shit off.
Oh,
they've been writing off fucking Batgirl. They've been writing off, you know, all these movies left and right. So yeah, these big companies can write down comics, but what does like a Boom Studios do, or an Aftershock Comics do, or Valiant, who's down to one book a month, right? So Aftershock and Valiant were named out by a lot of this shit. The Graphic Policy .com, right, noted that they talked to people in the industry that PPP loans kept publishers afloat during COVID, but now the publishers haven't adjusted to the new market, right? The realities of the market. And that's causing money flow issues, right? Now, he brought up, that's Brett Shanker over at graphicpolicy.com, that he didn't get paid on his website from some of these damn publishers for like marketing opportunities. Like they were going to put ads on the website and he didn't get paid, or they canceled, right? Like he put all the work into it to get ads up there and then they canceled. Now I ran into a little bit of this, working Outright Geeker when it had the big website going on.
Yeah.
COVID killed that damn thing too. I don't know how the hell Brett stayed running. Good for him, but that's actually a really great site over there, graphicpolicy.com. Y'all should check it out. They're really fun. But it's crazy, dude. It is crazy. There's less trickling down, right, in this economy.
Well, trickling down is not.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about.
Let's not talk about that
policy, but that's the way it's supposed to work, right?
It is supposed to work that way.
Publishers get paid, and then that money is supposed to go down to the marketing people, and then down eventually to the comic book creators, right? Yeah. And this trend currently that's going on, that's not happening. People ain't getting paid. All right, so Aftershock Comics released something to the beat. And they said the truth of the matter is that that the company is addressing late payments as outstanding funds owed to the company come in. So what they're saying is, you'll get paid when we get paid. There are no non-payments.
You get the money.
Yeah, everyone who is owed money will be paid. We recognize our obligation and consider creator compensation our number one priority. Well, obviously not if your electricity is the number one priority. Because if I owed somebody fucking money, I'm sorry, my kids are eating beans and rice for a fucking week. That's how it works in the real world. You know what I mean? And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about workers. We're talking about people who are trying to, put food on the table, literally, pay their bills, do shit. And if they don't have money coming in, that sucks. What are they going to go get an Uber? They're going to drive an Uber, DoorDash? Kidding me?
You can't make money in the gig economy.
Yeah, Valiant Comics didn't come back, but they hadn't done shit. Valiant Comics is basically not even a comic book publisher.
It's not even
anymore.
Yeah, it's not even a factor anymore.
Yeah, they're not releasing a PR. Just their monthly newsletter, which is pretty much boilerplate shit, just saying what we've got coming out that week. But a lot of people have come out and said this, dude. I got him. Will Robson has come out and said it's been 5 to 10 weeks late with payments, right? The biggest companies in the business are now delaying payments regularly. What? He didn't name which one, but he's calling them the biggest.
Can't comic creators take legal action and put liens against these companies?
I mean, it depends on what their contracts are, but there's also a bigger problem there that they're all freelancers, right? So technically, in order for them to have the same rights as a worker does under, at least in the United States, federal law, they have to take them to court for it. They have to prove damages under the law because they're a freelancer, which is another big bullshit. And they can't, collective bargain. They can't unionize in any way. So this is really a problem, dude. And if this doesn't get fixed, this is going to snowball into a bunch of issues. Now, some publishers have come out. What's his name over at Albatross? Who does the Goon?
Oh, Ed.
Huh?
I think. Oh shit! I'm drawing a blank.
What the hell? Anyway, he's running Albatross, which is now under Dark Horse, I think, at least in part. But he's like, no, we used to pay, creators before we paid printers and shit like that. We took a risk at the whole damn company falling apart because we knew that our lifeblood is the creative juice that comes into the business, right? So Joe Keone's tweeted
Eric Powell.
Yeah, Eric Powell, about a pair of publishers who were or are currently extremely late with payments for completed work. And he didn't name anybody at first, and then he was pressured, and he's like, it's fucking Valiant. Valiant owes me for Bloodshot and Archer and Armstrong covers. And I'm like, wait, what? Archer and Armstrong was last year. They still hadn't paid you for that shit? Alex DeCampi, writer. Aftershock is another publisher with overdue payments due to creators. Yeah. So this is fucked up. Now, why do we share this? What are we going to do? We can just make it known, right? I mean, we can help.
Get the word out. That's what we
get
can
the
do.
word out. We can let people know. Tell these motherfuckers, use social media, tag them in there, said, well, I guess I'm not buying any Aftershock comics until I make sure they paying everybody. Creators, please be, vocal about if and when you get paid. And if it's the big two, damn, come on, y'all. What?
Yeah, we don't hear much about that from Marvel.
Maybe because their contracts are better. They got better lawyers.
They got a bigger fish that backs them.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man, we cannot wait for 4 ghosts, and it was 4, to visit these rich motherfuckers and let them know. Now, I ain't saying Valiant and Aftershock are just overflowing with fucking cash. I'm not.
Especially
right?
Valiant.
But if there are people at Valiant and their parent company, DMG, who are getting paid, fuck you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to hell with you. That's a jerky thing to do, man.
That is a
You
pretty
need to
shitty
figure
thing
something
to do.
out. Something needs to be figured out, and these folks need to get paid. That's it. Period.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
That's a pretty shitty thing to do if, like,
Yeah.
the people up top are getting paid and the people who actually do the work are not.
Yeah.
Always a shitty situation.
And there's another layer here. There are more and more comic book publishers popping up. AWA is popping up. This new Frank Miller line. All these different imprints that are run by, and we'll talk some about that here in a little bit, by Dark Horse and IDW, getting all these creator-owned imprints. Just making sure, you know what I mean?
But like
it could all come crashing in at any time, dude.
But like with creator-owned imprints, they're going to try to put their people. They're going to do what they can best for their people. I mean,
hopefully it gives them more power.
That's creators running the show, at least in the imprint.
Exactly. Hopefully that gives them more power, a bigger seat at the table, to make sure that they're dictating where these funds are going and where the company's priorities are. You know what I'm saying? Where their fucking priorities are, because it's kind of bullshit, dude.
It is.
All right, let's move on to better news. Bunch of comic quick hits, all small publishers this week. Dungeons and Dragons coming back in Saturday Morning Adventures. Now, this is from IDW.
Pretty cool.
Now,
is Jim Zub involved?
Huh?
Is Jim Zub involved?
No. Okay. We will talk about that because that is in my notes. So, IDW, we've talked about them a whole lot. One of my favorite publishers, throughout my entire reading, history in the modern age. Wonderful fucking publisher. They've had some rocky roads in the past year or so. They lost G.I. Joe. They lost
Transformers.
And they had some other things just kind of taken away from them as contracts expired.
Yeah, like right now, like the biggest fish that IDW has is Turtles.
Turtles for sure. That's always there's always going to be fans who pick up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They also have Star Trek. They have My Little Pony. And yes, they have Dungeons and Dragons. And honestly, people are always going to pick up those books, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not so much Dungeons and Dragons, but they still have success with their D&D books. This is great synergy with one of the most preeminent, well-known in the pop culture spectrum Dungeons and Dragons properties. You know what I mean? And they've had success with this Saturday Morning Adventures line before. They had a G.I. Joe one that was, chef's kiss, just perfect. It captured just the essence, the air of that old G.I. Joe 80s cartoon. And I'm hoping this really does the same. It's going to be written by David M. Booher, who wrote Kanto over at IDW. He's currently writing Specs. I think that's over at Boom Studios. Great issue this week on Specs, by the way. And Sam Maggs is also helping with the writing. Artist George Cambides is doing the art. This first cover here, the one all the way to the left, that is the interior art there. I think this is going to work, dude. I think this is going to be a really fun series. I think David M. Booher is just one of those writers who, I hate to say it like this, but most of the work is done for him. He doesn't really have to work very hard in here. All he's got to do is lay back, watch all of the episodes of the Dungeons and Dragons show, and just do a fucking story, and it's done.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Colin Bunn did with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers meets Godzilla. He didn't overdo it. He didn't put so much of himself in there that the original story, the original
it didn't turn into a horror anthology.
Yeah, right. We're going to talk about that in a bit, too, because he's doing something that is way out of his wheelhouse. But, yeah, dude, this is going to be cool. I think this is going to be a whole lot of fun, man.
And the Saturday Morning Dungeons and Dragons from the 80s kind of enjoyed a bit of a revival here lately, too.
Well, remember that car commercial?
That car commercial from like
That
Brazil?
was a big deal.
That was a
And
big deal. And then there's just been they've actually
there's
had
been a
I can't
resurgence
think
of
like
D&D
Super
overall.
7, well, a resurgence of D&D,
Yeah.
but in particular, this particular property has been showing up. And it's been what 30 years since it's been around.
40.
Ah,
1983, dude.
but like Mondo or Super 7's putting out some action figures based on this.
Yup.
So I mean, they're kind of enjoying a small resurgence.
It's really
it's good to see it.
It really is. Yeah. It's like this old Dungeons and Dragons from the 80s is finally earning its place in popular culture when everybody I've ever talked to remembered this. And was like, oh, yeah, that shit was dope,
It was.
And it really was. It was kind of ahead of its time.
It was. They had, and if you are able to watch some of these old episodes, they have like a all-star voice cast from like the 80s. If anybody you can think of that did voice acting in the 80s was in this series. Frank Welker was in this series.
Yeah.
That's the one that comes off
the worst part about the series is the Dungeon Master putting him up against Tiamat at level 1. Man, fuck you. Worst GM ever. Worst DM ever.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, you
Don't know anything I wouldn't do, Zoop. Oh, he left. Moving on, but staying at IDW, a new Deep Space Nine series has been announced. How many years since DS9 premiered?
The show?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. That was like 95, 96?
30th anniversary. To celebrate the 30th anniversary. So it must have been 93, I guess.
I mean, I remember it coming out in high school. So,
man. Yeah. I was in high school in 93. But
I was too.
Yeah, I had such a good time with this fucking show. It's a new series. It's going to be written by sci-fi author Mike Chen, who also has written some Star Trek books. Again, Star Trek, there has never been a better time to be a Star Trek fan, okay? This franchise has been around since the 60s, but now there's like 5 different series. They're planning movies. And the comics, now that IDW, like we said previously, has lost all of this shit that they have lost, they are pushing more Star Trek than ever before.
Yeah,
and
there
it's
has
working
been
to their advantage.
There's been a big uptick in Star Trek books.
Yeah, it's really working to their advantage. And bravo to them for doing it. It was kind of like a necessity, but out of this necessity, these Star Trek fans are now getting a lost episode of Deep Space Nine. Another angle here is the stories never stop for comic book fans. Deep Space Nine could go on forever because we can just do it. That's the great thing about comics. They can just do it. So this is called The Dog of War. Angel Hernandez, who is like a legend in Star Trek comics. They're doing a lost episode set within the timeline of the original show.
It has to be before the Dominion War, at least, because it has Jadzia Dax in it.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's shortly before the beginning, I guess, at least the start of the Dominion War, because Worf's there. So it's if Worf's in there, Worf was brought in because
so we're looking at 4, 5, or 6, season 4 or 5, maybe the first.
Jadzia died in season. Jadzia died at the end.
Season 7.
No, she died before. She was replaced by Ezri, so she has to be season 6. So this is 4 and 5.
So this has to be either season 4 or 5. Right. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know what it's about. There's like a dog. It's gonna be really dumb and weird and stupid.
Ein from Cowboy Bebop has showed up on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, right.
It's a
bunch of cool covers, including this like tech manual looking cover. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
that's really a fun cover. But
Terok Nor.
Yeah, Terok Nor. So yeah, there you go. I love Deep Space Nine. I love Star Trek. It was like my first fandom. Like. At least TV fandom. There were cartoons, but those were really the toys and the comics. The cartoons felt like they were extra, even though it was like the opposite was supposed to happen. I wanted the toys when I went to the store. I didn't need to see the cartoon. I went to the store and I saw the toys. But
DS9
Star Trek, that's like my first fandom, dude.
Has a very special place in my heart for being the Trek series that I caught the first episode first time on.
Oh, nice.
I didn't catch TNG the first run, or at least the first early episodes of TNG the first run. But Deep Space Nine, I was there. When it premiered, I was there.
Yeah. My old man was really into Star Trek, like the original series early on, and they would always play reruns, like the best episodes, just all day long on a Saturday.
Oh yeah.
And he would do his thing, reading a book or on the computer, or I would read a book or be on the computer, and we would just watch the hell of that. Because my dad was like into computers, like in the 70s. He was been into computers since
Early
there were
adopter.
computers. Yeah, he was a nerd, a computer nerd before anybody knew what a fucking computer was. But when Star Trek: The Next Generation came out, yeah, dude, it was like a big deal for me. It was like, oh my God, it's a new one. And my dad was kind of like an internet downer. He's kind of like, oh man, it's gonna be lame. But man, when Wesley Crusher walked onto the bridge in like that first episode, I was like, oh my God, there's like a kid.
What's
It's
going
like
on?
showing me. It's like me. It's representing who I am. I'm a kid and I'm smart and I'm into
Shut
this
up, Wesley.
Yeah, and I'm into this nerdy tech shit. I like learning about computers and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really did help me identify with who I was as a person. And yeah, dude, from then on, I mean, I was a Trek nerd because my dad was watching it. But when that first episode, Wesley Crusher made me a fucking nerd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, really looking forward to that new
You
DS9.
can give
Man,
Will
we
Wheaton
spent
a
way
big
too
old
much
hug when you
time
meet him.
on Deep Space Nine. That was just supposed to be a little extra. Anyway, talking about Cullen Bunn, AWA Red Zone. This is a Cold War spy action thriller from
And
here.
okay.
Cullen Bunn, but can you guess just by the art? Of course you can. Mike Deodato Jr. Deodato. Man, just beautiful lines here. I love his design choices. He does that photo referential shit, but just adds his own spin.
And it's always this kind of noir kind of aesthetic
It's
to it.
just beautiful, dude. It's beautiful. I'm so happy that Mike Deodato has found a home at AWA. He doesn't have to worry about work. Publishers hook him up with writers who know what they're doing. But
and it was AWA called out for not paying?
Nope. No, you know they weren't. They're owned by creators. That company is owned by comic book creators. You know they ain't gonna fuck nothing up.
No, they ain't.
There's not any corporate shenanigans going on at AWA. At least not yet.
Not yet. Not until they get big.
Yeah. But this is Cullen Bunn writing
Cullen Bunn doing a James Bond joint.
Way out of his wheelhouse, dude.
That
Cullen
is-
Bunn is known for okay X-Men books and great horror.
Oh yeah.
This is not any of that.
No.
I'm really intrigued by this to see what he does.
I mean, it's an AWA book, so it's already on my pickup list.
Yeah, I know. You're a publisher fan. You're a fan of that publisher.
Well, they deliver.
They're hit or miss for me entirely. If I really get something from them and I like it, awesome. But if I don't, I'm just like, oh, I hate that.
There's only been one series from AWA that I have not really liked.
Yeah.
And
that
how
recent
many?
one?
No, not that recent one. That American Ronin one.
Oh no, I liked American Ronin. See, I liked American Ronin. Was it AWA who did the one with the car that was alive?
Yeah, that
Dude,
was
that
a Chariot.
That book was so good. Yeah, AWA
really
is like an unsung hero in the small press world right now.
I always say this, but AWA hits way above their weight.
Oh no, they do 100%. But there have been some misses. That Hotel Hell was good, but the second volume was bad. It was not good at all. What's that one with the superheroes in it?
Resistance?
Resistance is good, but the follow-up to that and the
haven't been
prequel, there was a
great.
prequel too that wasn't good. Keeping Up with the Joneses or whatever the hell it was just okay. It was just okay. But then they got books like Not All Robots.
Not All Robots.
Oh, that was amazing.
Sacrament.
Chariot, which we mentioned. I didn't like Sacrament. That's that Steve Niles horror, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
just okay. It's just okay.
Horror in space on a spaceship.
Yeah.
They got that Marjorie Flanagan time.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That got
optioned for a show.
Yeah.
And then they've got like Year Zero.
Book. Yeah. Oh, that was fun. The
zombie one.
Yeah, that was good.
And the Archangel 9.
Oh, that was pretty fun too.
Wasn't that Deodato too?
Archangel 9? No, I don't think so. But maybe, dude. He is all over the place. It's like the second coming of Mike Deodato. It really is. It really is. All right, moving on from Red Zone, we do go to Miller World over there at Image Comics. The Tragedy of
Frank
Mark
Quitely
Millar.
Oh my.
But yes, Frank Quietly and Mark Millar are doing a book called The Ambassadors. Basically, 8 billion people, 6 can have superpowers. It's like fucking Willy Wonka with the Avengers. I am so on board.
That sells me
Oompa.
right there.
That he says that. He says that in like the solicit for it,
When is
in
this
the
coming
PR
out?
for it. This is coming out in on March 29th, so you're gonna have to wait a little while for
Well,
it.
that's not that far
Yeah.
away.
But yeah, it's Frank Quietly, but it's got a lineup of artists planned for the first arc. And I think it's only going to be like one 6-issue contained story. But it's Mark Millar. He'll always come back and revisit shit. That's just what he does.
He'll
But
get into a movie or
yeah,
a show on Netflix.
Olivia Coppel, Travis Charest, Matteo Buffagni, Carl Kerschel, and Matteo Scalera round out the artists for this fucking series. It's going to have variant covers by Pepe Larraz and Gigi Cavengo.
Okay.
So,
that sounds cool.
Mark Millar said the idea for this is actually incredibly simple. Superheroes have always felt very American to the rest of the world, but what if the scientist who cracks the super genome is in Asia? What if this genius billionaire Korean girl launches the world's first real-life super team from a headquarters in Seoul, and it all takes off on the other side of the world with America watching like they watched the USSR putting the first man in orbit? So while on the surface we're saying, oh, it's Willy Wonka, dude, that's a deep alternate history sort of angle.
Oh yeah,
to the superhero genre. That's really kind of groundbreaking.
That's kind
in a way.
There's a book several years old where like you could get superpowers from a pill.
I kind of remember that. They did like a movie about that as well.
But like the
with
U.S.
Jamie
Army,
Foxx.
the U.S. Army was like giving it out to soldiers, and then like some soldiers turned around and gave it out like to like the Taliban.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that. Man.
I have to look and see what that is.
That
sounds.
That.
Yeah, that does have a.
Yeah.
What you're describing, yeah. If I would be, at least they said Seoul, Korea, Seoul, South Korea. Because if it was like in China or something, it would be. I don't think that would be good.
I mean, we'll see. It depends on the angle Millar takes to it, but
but I mean, like if the discovery is in Seoul in South Korea, there are still like politics and geopolitics involved.
Yeah, you sound nationalist. I think that's what this book is kind of speaking against.
Yeah,
is American nationalism in a way.
But like from a standpoint, like if it was China, like I would be
United States, like we're going to war.
No, maybe not going to war, but if I was like in the United States and that was happening, I'd be very concerned about Chinese superpowers.
I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with that. Anyway, let's not go there. But again, this is the sort of ideas that this book is generating just from the solicit. And Mark Millar, dude, he knows what he's doing. We always joke around the tragedy of Mark Millar. But it's because he sold all of his shit to Netflix and like nothing has panned out for him. He's got so many good comics that could be adapted, but they're not being adapted. And it's like, what the fuck? Just do it. Just do it. Huck is a surefire hit as a show, dude. Huck. Remember that book, Huck? Where it's like a Superman who's like a simple guy, like a simple version. Kind of like the Grapes of Wrath simple.
I'm kind of, it's ringing a bell, but I'm also got like other Miller titles running in my head right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good shit though. But 2023 is going to be a big year for Mark Millar. He's bringing back Nemesis. He's doing this. He's got a lot of things in the fire. So we'll keep an eye on him in the new year. Moving on, Hairball, Dark Horse, and Matt Kent are doing a horror series where the cat is the villain. The cat is the monster.
Cats are always bastards.
That's right. So Hairball is a supernatural thriller.
Even though I loved one that passed away.
Right. It's so weird that we're getting back to cats. But Matt Kent and Tyler Jenkins, Hillary Jenkins is actually the colorist on here. She was the colorist on Fear Case and Apache Delivery Service. Oh my God, those are two great books.
Apache Delivery Service.
Fear Case is fucking dope too, bro.
Oh.
But this is a 4-issue series, launches in April, and it's described as Junji Ito meets Hayao Miyazaki.
Junji Ito?
Yeah, Junji Ito meets Hayao Miyazaki meets Stephen King. It's going to be on Flux House, which is Kent's new boutique imprint at Dark Horse, which is really fucking cool, because we were talking about this earlier. It is really great that Matt Kent is moving into having that thing. Yeah, Andy Chimney, evil cats. All cats are inherently evil. They just use us, right? So I'm not sure if Kent's going to lean into that in this. I hope he does. Matt Kent is not really well known for his horror. And he even says as much in the PR for this. It kind of scared him. You know what I mean? He wasn't really sure what to do here, what artist to approach. But then, of course, Tyler Jenkins, was available because of the Dark Horse connections, and everything fell into place. The variant cover on the right here is from Martin Simmons, one of my favorite artists right now, working on Department of Truth with Tynion. Yeah, dude. So in Hairball, a young girl named Anna, she suspects that her dysfunctional family's problems may or may not be caused by the family's cat. And yeah, so she starts investigating this, and yeah, the cat is fucking crazy. So we're gonna get more on that when we read the issue. This comes out in April. Really excited about this one, man. This looks like so much damn fun. Matt Kent is gonna be doing some of the art in the book, which is really nice.
Cool.
So yeah, dude, I'm stoked about this one.
Before you move on, I did look up that book that I was talking about. The military gets the pills, the given powers. That was called War Heroes, and it was also by Millar. It was published from Image Comics.
Yeah,
in 2008. So he's kind of revisiting the well.
Wow. Well, I don't know about that. It's a little bit different. He's always doing superhero deconstruction, style stories, and this is definitely that.
But it sounded awful familiar. So
right.
Had a bunch of familiar elements in it, and it turns out it was a story that's very similar to that.
All right, one more bit of news. Again, another independent book, ending with Image. Greg Rucka coming back to the fore. Man, one of my favorite writers of all time, just has written some of my favorite shit. Is back at Image with artist Mike Henderson. They're doing a book called Forged. It's set to release in March. It's an over-the-top pulp adventure filled to the brink with violence and Conan-inspired science fiction. It's set in the 11th millennium of the rule of Eternal Empress. Forge follows a squad of planet-smashing super soldiers who find their routine mission to be anything but.
Once again, we're revisiting something we talked about earlier in the show.
Right?
Warhammer 40K.
It feels like Warhammer 40K. It feels like Aliens. It feels like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Great art by Henderson here. And man, I love Greg Rucka so much. I'm looking for big world building. I'm looking for deep character, studies, things like that. And I'm really sure we're going to get it.
I am waiting for them to declare Exterminatus.
Oh, man. You like Greg Rucka, though. I mean, who don't like Greg Rucka?
I love Greg Rucka. He wrote some pretty good stuff.
So, yeah, this is one definitely look out for. This drops in March. That's it.
That's
it for the news. So, yeah, that was all kinds of dope small press news, man, about fuckers not getting paid and why they should be. Okay, these books that are coming out, these are must-read books. These are books that are going to be adapted for the screen. It's abuse. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And it's time we fix that
shit. It's exploitation of
it is. Well, that's the whole system. But in this case, it is exploitation to the nth degree, right? So, all right, let's do a food news. It's a David-centric food news.
Yummy.
David tossed something in the chat. I don't know. What was it, about a week ago in this Geeky Comics chat?
Was it the
yeah, you know what it was. Yeah, it was definitely the candy canes. And we do this annually. We used to do this even before food news, we would bring this shit up on all the shows that we did, man. We would bring up these nasty candy canes. McPhee.com 6-pack for $6.95. This year's big release, brisket flavored candy canes. So yeah, if you like some of their other flavors like Caesar salad or mac and cheese or pickle, they also have bacon, butter flavored, sour cream and onion flavored candy cane.
I'd be down for a pickle candy cane.
No, thank you. That is nasty. That is disgusting. I would definitely give it a lick.
I might actually be down for
But
the
I may not
sour
like
cream
the
and
taste.
onion.
I may not like the taste.
Uh,
McPhee.com, again, 6-pack for $6.95. They are not a sponsor. I just think they're fun as hell. They
and
also have a
that's not terribly expensive.
Yeah, that's not. It's like $1 a candy cane. It's a
Yeah.
6-pack, $1.20 a candy cane or something like that. But they also have a candy cane that is the Bah Humbug candy cane.
Oh no.
It tastes like nothing. It
Nothing.
doesn't have any flavor
Has
at
no
all.
flavor to it.
No flavor at all. It's just a
How?
flavorless candy cane. And I was like,
How
wow,
do you
that's
do
smart.
that?
That's
How
really
do you
fun.
do that?
I don't know. They're geniuses. I don't know how you get butter in there, but I assume it's just like the way the jelly bean companies do it.
Yeah.
But why? How come? How come? You could basically do your entire dinner in just candy canes. Oh, here's your first course, Caesar salad, and it's just a candy cane.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here, you want to put some butter on that? Here's some butter candy cane.
Wow, I feel like I'm living in the Jetsons era.
Right? Yeah, no, that's gross. And we would have been remiss, of course, because we do a double dose of food news. Usually one good, one bad, just for Taylor, really. But when the Mexican pizza is in the news, we always cover it. Just months after bringing back the Mexican pizza, Taco Bell is trying out 2 new varieties on December 22nd, only in Oklahoma City.
Only
It's
in OKC?
It's only in OKC. It's the jalapeno.
That seems like a natural evolution.
It really does. It's almost like, ooh, those are like little Mexican pepperonis on there. Jalapenos.
I think Mexican pepperoni would just be
Yeah.
a pepperoni.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'll have to ask my friend.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure why you can't just go to the fucking Taco Bell and say, hey, you want to toss some jalapenos on
I'm
there?
pretty
I'd
sure you can
appreciate it.
do that. If
Yeah.
like you could probably go on the app and like customize it.
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But still, that's weird. Now, here's another one. This is the pièce de la résistance in Omaha, Nebraska.
Why are we doing stuff in the Midwest?
I don't know. Why are we not bringing this
doing
all
stuff
over?
in the Midwest?
I don't know. But you can, because there's nothing else in the Midwest. Taco Bell's like, we've got a niche here. We've sewn up the market for Mexican
is known
food.
for its barbecue.
For
and
Mexican
brisket.
fast food. This is the triple crunch Mexican pizza, which is basically the Big Mac of Mexican pizzas, where it adds another layer of the bottom layer,
This
which
also
is
seems-
oh man, I bet the texture of that, the double crunch when you're biting, crunch. Oh, I bet it's so good.
This seems also like a natural evolution of the Mexican pizza.
Dude, exactly. You are not wrong. But what I would like is a triple crunch Mexican pizza with jalapenos. A triple crunch jalapeno.
I'm pretty
Mexican
sure you could probably get that. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you could just go be like, special order it.
So you can do it a la carte or as a combo meal with 2 tacos. I don't know who the fuck is eating a Mexican pizza and 2 tacos. I hope you got a date. And it comes with a large soda. It's $5 and $5.50, depending on the location.
Well, that's not too terrible a deal.
Yeah, you can make your own by requesting jalapeno peppers and a side of nacho cheese sauce for your regular Mexican pizza. Okay, because that's what the jalapeno one comes with. It comes with a side of nacho cheese. So it's a bit more than $6, but they're testing it to see if they can make money. Because us Midwest people are a good test market. I mean, I get it. I don't have the numbers for that. So obviously you're right, because Taco Bell is doing it there. This just seems, like David said, a natural evolution. Just roll that shit out. How bad can it be? People are smart enough who are working at Taco Bell to be like, oh, okay, it's another layer. Oh, okay, jalapenos. Is it really that hard? Is it?
Our test engineers have figured out the secret to making the ultimate Mexican pizza. We're going to put a 3rd layer on it.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're not going to stop there. We're going to have a Mexican cake.
Yeah, it is kind of like a Mexican cake. It is. It's delicious, though. It looks great.
It does look good.
I love a Mexican pizza. I'm a big fan. I don't have any shots for the moment of destruction, but the final Transformers issue has been published by IDW this week. It was Transformers Shattered Glass 2, number 5. That's sort of the mirror universe where the Autobots are evil and Decepticons are good. It was trash, just like everything else that IDW has putting out.
I was about to say, let's have a moment of silence for IDW
It's
Transformers.
been dead for quite some time.
But we
Yeah.
would just be flogging a
It's
dead
been
horse
dead
there.
for quite some time. I can't wait to hear where it's going. Hopefully, January is when we hear where the Transformers and G.I. Joe franchises are going to show up. So,
Are we sure it's going to be Skybox or Skybound?
we're not. That's like 80% right now. That Kirkman is the one who's doing it. He's getting a team together. He's trying to figure out what's going on. To be honest, we haven't heard much from Kirkman in terms of new books. He's got Firepower coming out. I'm not sure what else he's got going on.
Yeah.
Everything else is either done
or he's
is
kind of busy
reprint.
doing all that. He's kind of busy being involved with all these Walking Dead spinoffs.
I mean, he is in
series.
part working on The Walking Dead. He is also working on the Invincible show on Amazon. He is working in these other places. But it is still my belief that it is going to Skybound, and Robert Kirkman is going to be the guy in charge of the Transformers and G.I. Joe line. It's still my belief that that's where it's going to go. And I'm okay with that. As long as he gets good creators on those books, I'm cool. As long as he got a plan, you know. And Kirkman don't do nothing without a plan. Kirkman don't take a dump without a plan, son. Let's do top 3. All indie top 3. All small press. Oh. Man, I got so many honorable mentions. I think I'll wait to the end of the show to do them.
I kept the honorable mentions to a minimum.
Darkland number 1 was fun. I need more. No, that's Dark Ride. Darkland.
I did not get a copy of this.
Oh, it was really fun, dude. I'll send you over the copy that I got because they sent me a press copy. Thank you, Scout Comics. This was a very good issue. It was kind of all over the place, but it felt like one of those sort of chaos first issues where by issue 2, everybody's going to come together and it's going to be very satisfying. That's by Nicholas Black and Serge Acuna. Serge has done a lot of covers that I've liked, but yeah, his interiors were very sharp here, very good. I do advise, but it wasn't good enough to make my top 3 this week. Art Brute and Ice Cream Man, both books that are technically like off of here, retired because they were just so good. Art Brute number 1, yeah, it's number 1, but it was originally the Electric Sublime. We might talk about those later, or Art Brute later. Are we, Dave?
No.
Oh, okay. So Art Brute is great. Very fun book.
Good
Definitely
book,
check it out.
but,
Art is
you know,
basically
we've
weaponized in this
like
book.
you said, we've already kind of discussed it before when it was called the Electric Sublime.
Yeah, art is basically a weapon in this book. It's very well done. It's actually, this issue had a backup story, which is very fun. It was like a retro throwback story following Art Brute. And Ice Cream Man number 33, retired from my list, but definitely would have been my number 1 this week. Prince
Isn't
and
that series
Razzo.
coming to an end as well?
No, I haven't heard anything about
Maybe
them
I'm
ever
getting my
bringing
series
this book
mixed
to
up.
an end. I haven't heard them about bringing this series to an end. I heard it's going on forever. But this was truly in a fun way. Prince gets really personal here by writing a story about a guy having a good day and a bad day by saying, I really want to write stories about people having a good day, like this guy. But I always end up writing stories about people having a bad day, like this guy. And it's really about choices that we make, you know? And he's like saying to the audience, to the reader, I make the choice to write these bad stories. Why am I doing that? You know what I mean? It's
Am
really
I a bad
fun.
person for making
Am
this?
I bad? Yeah, dude. It's really personal and really deep. Ice Cream Man 33 might be one of the best issues of the year, honestly. It was very, very good. But again, it's retired from my list. So, Nightclub number 1 is my number 3 book of the week.
Well,
Mark
shit,
Millar.
That's my number 3 book of the week.
Oh, not what?
Yeah.
That's awesome. This book was specially priced at $2 to get people in, and I understand why. It did have a bit of first issue syndrome, but it's Mark Millar, Juan and Ramirez. There's a lot of world building, a lot of
there's a lot of world building going on in this.
But it was still strong enough to get me to come back for more. There's a cop who also happens to be a vampire. He's recruiting young people who are on the brink of death.
Yeah, he's recruiting those who have no chance of recovery, is what he said.
Yeah, making them vampires and building an army. We're not sure exactly why, But his newest recruit, he goes and turns him. We see that story. We see him training him.
Yeah.
But his new recruit has plans of his own, wants to be sort of internet hero famous by covering his skin so he isn't affected by the sun.
In a luchador mask.
In a luchador mask. So yeah, Mark Millar, we were just talking about him. This is his comeback for 2023. Very excited to see how the rest of this series goes, man. It was fun.
It had a very kind of like Spider-Man aesthetic to it. Maybe I would compare it to like, Spider-Man and Miles, Peter and Miles.
Oh yeah, Miles Morales Spider-Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
Peter. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Like Into the Spider-Verse, that dynamic. The movie dynamic.
It was definitely the teacher and student sort of dynamic here. That's what he was pushing. Yeah,
yeah.
For sure.
But there was no writing on the back of the kid while he jumps from building to building.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, our newly turned vampire, he does have his own plans, and I kind of figure that he's going to turn his two friends, the guy that was getting bullied by the basketball team captain for doing his homework. Such a trope.
It was. No, Millar's definitely leaning into a lot of tropes here.
Yes.
For sure. He does that a lot in his writing, but he uses them in new and inventive ways to
and the
entertain.
vampires don't sparkle when they're in the sunlight.
Right. The main reason this book made my list, because I was truly entertained the whole time. I wanted to see what happens next. I can't wait to see what happens next.
It was a fun read from beginning to end, and I definitely am looking forward to issue 2.
Yeah, it definitely looks, like you said, like he's going to try to turn his two buddies, ruining the plans of this guy who's, I don't know, maybe his ideas are in the best interest of everything, what's going on. He seems kind of villainous, but yeah, I don't know. So, all right, that was both of our number 3s, oddly enough. So just to keep it round robin, what is your number 2 book of the week? Let's start with your honorable mentions.
My
honorable mentions.
My only honorable mention this week is going to be 10,000 Black Feathers, number 4.
Yep. That did not make my list. Officially retired. Holy shit.
Great issue, but there just was, I felt there was just a lot going on in this.
It was slow. It was slow.
There was it was a very...
It was flashing back. It felt to me like this is a bridge issue into what's next in the story. Because by the end of this, it becomes a portal story, and she's in a different world.
Yeah, she ends up discovering the portal to the other world.
Yeah.
But there's like, the bird skull guys show up.
Yeah.
Somebody else dies. And you're just trying
There's a lot going on.
You're just trying to piece together a lot of things and seeing, because I have to go back and kind of like reread like the previous issue to kind of understand
because
things
so much is happening. You're right.
And it just I kind of felt lost. It's a great book. The artwork is good.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Too much is happening and it just lost me.
Yeah, for sure. It feels to me like 10,000 Black Feathers, if I'm comparing it to like the 3-act sort of way to tell a story, this entire issue was the second act. You know what I mean?
I could get that. I get that.
Yeah, Jeff Lemire was like, "No, my 3rd act is so good. I need 2 issues because I think this is on a 6-issue, 7-issue series.
It's not
maybe only 5.
It's the limited series. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be 5. He's got way too much story to tell for this to be only 5. But yeah, it felt like he crammed a lot in here because he didn't want to make the 3rd act bigger than it needed to be. But I'm stoked. I'm still stoked. Still the best team in comics right now. And yeah, I can't wait to read the rest of it. Any other honorable mentions?
Nope, that was my only honorable mention.
What is your number 2 book of the week?
My number 2 book of the week is Hell to Pay number 2.
You will not guess this.
Oh my gosh, it is.
That is my number 2 book of the week. Hell to Pay number 2, Charles Soule and Will Sliney. Man, what a great follow-up issue. This really cemented.
This does.
I'm in for the long haul, dude.
This did a lot of building on that first issue.
Yes.
They go to the Shrouded Council. They're like, we got the last coin, but we found this other coin. And they're like, well, your obligation. The Shrouded Council's like, your obligation to us is still in effect, and they're like, you bastards.
That seems like so much bullshit, dude.
But we they go to the guy who escaped hell.
Yeah. Oh, they end up telling us who that is by the
They
end.
end up telling us who that was. But
Alexander the fucking Great. What? He's
of
the one who made the deal. Of course it was him. Of course it
yes,
was him.
but
Of course.
we go. But before we found out he was Alexander the Great, we found out that he was the guy that escaped hell with the coins.
Yeah.
And he is, well, he's kind of connected to the coins he took, but he can kind of tell things about the coin that they have.
Yeah, he's sort
And
of
now
like a divining rod, kind of.
Yeah,
for
and
the
now he's
coins.
kind of pissed at them because they're like using him as a tool.
Yeah.
But that whole scene in the prison was pretty good. He like pulls out the hammer and the shield, and he's
Yeah.
just going to town on these
Yeah.
guys. But they
So-
follow up on all this stuff, and we kind of get an idea about like how this other guy is maybe getting these coins from hell.
Yeah. As good as all that stuff was, us learning about the bad guy, us learning about the good guy, the start of this is like neo-capitalism kind of started because of this satanic curse. I fucking loved that so much, dude. I love that so much. But yeah, we meet the bad guy who trades just one of these coins to some Mexican prison dirtbag who's in charge for like 3,000 prisoners to do who knows what. You know, who knows what the fuck
This is like that
here.
scene from like Blade 3 where like the vampires are farming people for their blood. This is what that reminds me of. Not for blood, but for something else.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Soul energy or something.
Yeah, for sure. There's
He's
a
turning
lot
people
going
into
on.
coins.
Our two protagonists are fucking awesome. Their relationship works so well together, and it's not forced. It feels organic. It's just so well done. Yeah, great book, man. Hell to Pay. Charles Soule, dude, he's a master right now. He really knows what he's doing. It's like the second or third coming of Charles fucking Soule at this point, man.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
And
Yeah,
that
this
whole
is a great book.
in that whole like kind of like legal contract dynamic that that the Shrouded Council was going in. Soul does really good. Like he did like one of the best runs of She-Hulk. And
Yeah.
And he
did good work over at DC too, if I recall right.
Yeah, but he was like a real life lawyer, so there was that kind of touch to it.
Yeah. Hell to Pay #2, great book. I'm on for the long haul. This book could go 50 issues. I'm reading everyone. I'm reading all of them. Yeah, I'm sold now after this second issue. So that leads us to our number ones, and we'll come back to me. I'm not sure how you could have anything else on your list if you read it this week. It was extra big. It was extra awesome. Mattson Tomlin and the amazing Lee Bermejo, Vicious Circle, number one.
Also this my number one.
Dude.
Shit,
I'm not even going to talk about the book, okay? Because you can tell by the artwork here. Look how fucking amazing Lee Bermejo's artwork here is. I was not able to get any of the extra pages, but there is a twist in this book where it changes from black and white to the most vivid color you could ever imagine in a book.
Yes.
And it should be jarring. But the story makes it work, and everything comes together in such a unique and beautiful and amazing way.
There is a time travel element to this story, and when it starts happening more frequently, the art style changes from panel to panel almost.
And sometimes it mixes in the panels. Sometimes the panels, some characters are black and white, some are in color, and then some are half and half as they're like drifting somehow.
Yeah,
dude, it's just so well done.
This book made my number one not because of the story, but the story is awesome.
The story's good.
It's a little
derived.
Really good.
It's a little derived. It's time travel.
But there's another player in the game that can time travel, and these two are locked in what is appropriately titled a vicious circle.
Yeah, it's like if one goes to the future, the other one goes to the past. It goes from the 1950s into the future, into like the Cretaceous period. There's dinosaurs and shit running around. It's so big. It's so vivid. But then in the story, there's also like this personal sort of element.
There's
to
a
it,
revenge
with a
element.
Family. Yeah,
there's a revenge element to it.
Yeah, dude. It's so. Yeah. Again, one of the best issues of the year. So damn. I wish I was able to get these other pictures where it shows the art, the color being used to tell the story. Literally, there is color being used in this to tell the story, and it's backed up by Lee Bermejo's beautiful photorealistic work. it's just amazing.
It was. I was.
I
I
was
did not.
shocked.
I did not expect it to go from
Yeah.
black and white to color.
I was shocked
It
when
was.
that happened. I was like, oh, because it was kind of. I don't want to say it was subtle because it wasn't. You could see it clearly.
It's like when
But-
Dorothy opens the door after the
Yes,
tornado.
that's exactly where I was going with it, dude. It's like Wizard of Oz. It's like when Dorothy opens the door and she steps out, and you're just like, you're in it.
Yes.
You're in it. Oh yeah, dude. It was just very well done. Such a creative idea. Just such a creative idea. Just way to go, man. Yeah, and I don't know. I think other creators could have pulled this off, but when you get into this and you see Lee Bermejo's art, you're just like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. It's so well done. You're not expecting the art to carry the story on yet another level because again, Lee Bermejo's art is carrying this shit,
Oh yeah.
But it's so well done. Just
Like I said
perfect.
the last time it was, or on the preview show,
Yeah.
Lee Bermejo can do a book with no dialogue in it, and I would pick it up. Which you
Yeah.
guys said he did with the cover book, but
Well, there was a little bit of narrative there, but no, it wasn't any dialogue. It wasn't any dialogue.
Lee Bermejo can do this photorealistic sequential art that is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just another great book.
It is. All he does is great books, man. So good. So good. I've been a fan of his since that Joker book.
That Joker book was
it's probably his quintessential work. It's probably his signature piece.
It's one of the best modern Joker books.
Oh, for sure.
Out there right now.
Yeah. Awesome, y'all. That was our, indie show this week. We had the opportunity to do it on the cuff, and yeah, I had some great stories that lined up, and it was a great week of independent books. Amazing that Dave and I picked the same books. There were other good books.
None of this was planned. None of that was planned.
No, none of it was planned. Specs was awesome this week. Dark Ride was awesome this week. Assassin's Apprentice was pretty okay.
Assassin's Apprentice was really good.
Yeah.
The story kind of was a bit slow pacing, but I did enjoy that. Yeah. I really enjoyed Grimm.
Grimm was okay, dude. The use of music in that book is superb. It's like, how are they doing that?
And that band is Ghost.
Oh well, yeah.
That band at the show is Ghost, so that was like so appropriate.
Yeah. A lot of great indie books this week, smaller press stuff, and yeah, we touched on quite a lot of it. So, awesome! Thanks everybody for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Come back tomorrow night. We're doing a show. I think Taylor and I are doing the show. Come back and check. We may not, depending on
if Taylor's not doing something with the family for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't be here.
Oh, you're going to be here tomorrow night?
No, I won't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dave's out. He's got to work. But we're going to talk about all the books coming out next Wednesday. Well, Tuesday and Wednesday on the comic shop shelves. So definitely come and hang out. Check out the Comic Book Bullies tonight. They're going to talk about Avatar, I think. I don't think either Leroy or Eli has actually seen Avatar: The Way of Water, but they're probably going to talk about it. Why?
Korra.
Well, yeah, not Korra. She bends water. She's not the way of water.
She's the Avatar from the Water Tribe.
Exactly. But they're going to talk about somehow this surprised people that this movie did so well. I don't understand why people think Avatar wouldn't do well.
The reviews I've heard is if Jake and Natiti or Nariti. If their kids had just done what they had been told, none of this would have happened.
That's how kids are.
It's like great kids.
That comes from someone who ain't got no kids. Yeah, for sure. Because that's how it works. You tell them what to do, they do the opposite, and they learn the hard way.
Oh yeah. That stove is hot.
But definitely check out the Comic Book Bullies on most of these channels that we're on right now tonight. If you want full links to everything they've got going on, go to outrightgeeker.com. We got a list of everything they got going on, everything we got going on, Patreon, merch, different social media channels. Definitely go to Facebook, check out the Outright Geekery group. Andy's over there kicking it. And like Andy said, until next time, everyone, of course, Dave, oh, wait, what am I doing? What part of the show am I at? Again,
you're supposed to be like,
thanks everybody for hanging out. But most of all, thanks to this guy for hanging out with this guy.
Always a pleasure.
Andy threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
We are gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
What a world! What a world!